There's a land where the mountains are nameless and the rivers run God knows where. There are lives that are erring and aimless, and deaths that just hang by a hair. There are hardships nobody reckons. There are valleys unpeopled and still. There's a land, and it beckons and beckons, and I want to go back, and I will. Those double D-rings there and the D-rings on the side are for thigh straps that allow me to control the boat a little with my legs when I'm running whitewater. So there you go. I got my 15-foot Novacraft Prospector all outfitted and ready for my big solo trip down the Bonnet Plume River. I got spray deck outfitting on it with the ladder lock system using pop rivets in the hull. I got webbing on for bow and stern airbags and lashing bank line so I can put inflatable bags in the bow and stern. I got D-rings down in the front and on the side by the seats so I can use thigh straps in whitewater. And I got other D-rings in there as well so I can clip down my camera and my day bag, and as well as bungees over the bow and stern, which I'm going to use to tuck my throw bags under, which I would grab and swim to shore, so I'd have that canoe on the end of the rope if I did dump. There we go. It took a long time, but I was working alone, but I got it done. I'm super happy with the way it turned out, so can't wait to get this thing into the water and run the Bonnet Plume River. Well, here we are on the North Klondike Highway, and we are officially on our way to Mayo. Mayo is where I'm going to be hopping on a floatplane and flying off into the wilderness to land at Bonnet Plume Lake to begin my canoe expedition down the Bonnet Plume River. but we got a bit of a drive ahead of us. Beautiful scenery. Looks like so far we're gonna have a good day for flying, and I'm just gonna take it in a little bit last few hours before my trip starts. Okay, well here we are at Alcan Air in Mayo, Yukon. It was a long drive here from Whitehorse and I got here a little late. So I'm just waiting for my float plane to come back, and it is going to take me out and deposit me at Bonnet Plume Lake, which is a remote lake in the Mackenzie Mountains. And that is going to be my starting point to paddle the Bonnet Plume River. I'm going to take the Bonnet Plume for 350 kilometers to the Peel River, and I'm going to follow the Peel River down to a large gravel bar called Taco Bar, where I'm going to wait for another float plane to come and pick me up and fly me back here to Mayo so I can drive to Whitehorse. And this is a fly-in, fly-out adventure because it is just extremely remote. I'm going to be in the true wilderness of the Yukon. I got some serious whitewater rapid challenges ahead. There's grizzly bears, there's black bears out there. I'm going to try to avoid them and just have a blast. I'm going to be having to do some portaging, and the water levels are high, so the rapids are going to be challenging. Hopefully I can deal with those, but I'm looking forward to hopping on this float plane and enjoying a spectacular flight through the mountains. So my next big adventure is just about to start. And here, this is my gear here. That bag's got solar panels, solar chargers in it, and a whole bunch of outfitting. So that and that are going to go on the canoe. We're still going to actually have to strap the canoe to the struts of this float plane here too, because you can't put it inside. So it's a process that takes some skill. Landed at Bonnet Plume Lake, and it is beautiful. And I actually saw a cow and a calf moose right at the outlet of the river, so I've already seen 2 moose. That's pretty cool. End up getting in later today because I was tardy for my float plane charter, so I'm probably gonna take some time, just get my boat outfitted and do a little fishing here, and I might not start heading downriver till tomorrow. We'll see how I feel though. I gotta get some food in me, get a line in the water, and get set. So anyways, just coming into land. Well, that's it. The float plane has left me all alone here in the remote wilderness on Bonnet Plume Lake. It's an interesting feeling when that float plane takes off and just leaves you to completely be self-sufficient in a very remote area, especially when you're all alone. So yeah, I'm gonna get my bear spray out, get my shotgun loaded up, get a bite to eat, and start getting this canoe outfitted. This is a pretty big lake, but I got dropped off on a decent beach. Should be half decent for camping, and the outlet of the Bonnet Plume River is right over there, so I don't have too far to paddle on this lake. And yeah, super excited to start putting miles behind me. Greeted with grizzly bear. Well, a quick scout showed me that there's actually a much better and flatter place to camp right down there, so I'm not gonna have to paddle anywhere. It means I gotta schlep all my stuff from here over to the point though. Bunch of these little berries around. Not sure what they are. I think they're maybe low bush Arctic raspberries. Might have something to do with the large grizzly bear poop I saw over there, although that seemed to be full of like sages and grass and stuff like that, but not a ton of berries here. But I'm not feeling overly comfortable about camping by grizzly bear poop where there's a bunch of berries. Two things. I realized that my pickup isn't at the mouth of the Bonnet Plume. It's a ways down the peel. So I'm gonna have to be paddling. I don't know what I'll be really facing there. Then today was a bust because I got here late. So it's giving me about 10 days to do the Bonnet Plume. What was supposed to be almost 14 days is being cut down substantially. Get my boat outfitted so it'll be good to go first thing in the morning. What I gotta do is I gotta inflate these airbags. And what these do is they give your canoe extra buoyancy so you can take in more water and not swamp and still have control. That did not take very long. Oh, God. Look at that. Beautiful. Big. Good size, that's for sure. Look at that. This is what it's all about, guys. I'm finally here. Man. Ah, yes, I'm having so much fun right now. Another chunky grayling. Look at that. There's grayling number 2. A little smaller than the first one, but a beauty still. Oh, that's gonna be making the bloopers reel. I forgot my net. This grayling's huge. Whoa, ho, 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 ho. Using this cold steel bird and trout. Yeah, it's just gonna slit from hole right up to the top like that. So yeah, I might have to cut that in half, but I can't wait to eat that. That's gonna be good. Little old bay, baby. That one's done. Traveled a long way for this meal. Well, it is late. Probably, geez, I'm gonna guess 11:30, 12 right now. Lots of light still. Land of the midnight sun. Amazing day. I was really tired and hungry when I got here. A lot of travel, a lot of anticipation. I mean, the flight was incredible. Jagged mountains everywhere. Beautiful. Amazing when you fly in the mountains. Sometimes you have to fly through a valley and you actually have to look up the floatplane window to see the top of the mountains because they're taller than the elevation you're flying at, which is pretty cool. Anyways, I got a little bit of food in me, and like there's just grayling coming like right up to the shore right now. It's incredible. They're coming right into like inches of water. Yeah, as soon as I saw those fish jumping, I knew I had to get out there, take a few casts, and sure enough, from shore didn't take me long to get a beauty. Probably the biggest one today was the first one I caught, which was absolutely delicious. And I headed out there and where I saw a bunch jumping, sort of where the current picks up and starts to flow down the Bonnet Plume. And sure enough, there was a cow moose just sitting there, probably the same one that I saw when the floatplane landed. We were taxiing up to the gravel beach here, and that was really cool. So I got a good look at that cow moose as I was catching grayling. So yeah, just incredible. The fishing, beautiful fish, and beautiful sight. This is going to be the only lake on this trip, so it'll be sad to leave it behind, but I'm super excited to see what lies downriver. The Bonnet Plume is supposed to be the most beautiful river in the Peel watershed, and so I think that we're going to see some things that top this, believe it or not. Really looking forward to just everything that lies ahead, and I already feel more chill, you know, now that I got everything. I know I have everything here. I know the canoe's outfitted, everything's done. That anticipation is pretty much gone, and I just feeling pretty confident that I'll be able to tackle whatever lies ahead. Don't want to leave my food barrel kicking around in grizzly country, that's for sure. Take this, stash it in the willows. Morning of day 2, man. Awesome spot. It's gonna be tough to leave this spot. I put my Gold Zero up, the solar panel. Not a lot of sun, but it's still gonna be doing something. I'm gonna strap that to the top of my canoe. Got the water on to boil. I had to get creative and put my ground pad around the stove because the wind will just blow all the heat away and you'll waste gas. And I gotta conserve gas. So now it's time to take down the tent and have my coffee, have some oatmeal, and get on the water. This tent down. It's a lot of work making and breaking camp every morning, but I'm so used to it now. Oftentimes when I just spend 2 days at the same campsite, I just get bored. I feel like there's nothing to do. Unless of course it's like an epic fishing hole or something. Looks like it might be starting to clear up, or we might get a patch of blue and then overcast again. I don't know. Today I'm stirring my coffee with the Cold Steel Outdoorsman fixed blade knife. We'll see if there's any difference compared to, you know, knives I've used in the past. Oh, what a spot to have breakfast. I don't have my brother with me on this trip, which means that, you know, the French press holds 2 coffees, so I made 2. Just so I can get that caffeine rush. Just kidding, but I'll probably drink 2. I wouldn't want to waste stove gas. Perfect. Catch some rays. I'm bringing a large solar panel because I want to really reduce the amount of time I have to charge. When Ted and I were in Manitoba, we had tons of sun. We only had a 60 watt, but it was super sunny and we were traveling 12 hours a day in the blazing sun, so that really worked. We got some sun. I got the generator battery in a dry bag in the canoe, and then this out on top. I'm just going to tie it down with some parachute cord. And this waterproof panel here, doesn't matter if I dump or whatever, it won't get broken. Well, there's a little injury. My knife has a bone cracker on the back. When I went to slice the parachute cord to tie down the solar panel, it whacked there, and my first aid kit is completely packed away, so looks like I'm gonna have to maybe just put a little spruce gum on it. Ideally, if you can get it when it's still gooey, that's better, so I'll have to heat this up. Don't ask me, I've seen this in a movie. Not the spruce pitch, the heroin spoon. Gonna melt it down and let it cool a bit till it's sticky. And I'm just gonna put that spruce gum right on the cut. It works for deep cuts like stitches, like that you need stitches for. It hardens and then you wait a few days and it comes off and the cut will be healed. It's still challenging because of the part of my finger it's on, but I'll let that get into the cut. And I'm off. That took a while. Well, finally pushed off from camp. I've never really ran a system kind of like what I'm doing now. My way larger Nook case and more gear in the solar panel system, so it took me a long time to get it dialed in because I have a lot of shooting equipment. Like some rain coming this way. Day can't make up its mind. But yeah, ever since I got here, the weather's been kind of all over the map. Cold, really cold at night, and then it was hot for a while. I was sweating and then cooled right down again. Snug as a bug. Yup, that's some rain. Oh yeah. Oh, it's something pretty good. Maybe it's a lake trout. Oh, I lost it. God damn it. That is such a bummer. Ah. Something shiny to match these watercolors here, although I was having success on a Black Fury orange dot. But this is a dressed Mepps Aglia 2 here. Wow, this is beautiful. Oh, got one. Wow, I just watched that come up and just crush my lure. That was exciting. Yeah. Well, we got one. I'll take that. I'll take it. Nice little tributary and a back eddy here. Well, that scared the bejeezers out of me. Nice little pocket here. Do you see that? Hello, dinner. I'm gonna call you dinner. A little smaller than in the lake, but definitely a good eater. That wasn't really the bonnet plume proper. It actually feeds the bonnet plume, and I'm just pulling up to it right now. It looks kind of brown, definitely not as beautifully clear as this one. So I might just jump out and take a couple casts here and maybe bust out my gold pen. This is some black sand. Black sand is a good indicator of gold. So if you see creeks or deposits of black sand, it's worth dipping in a pan. Wow, first cast here at the confluence, and I hooked into something pretty big. That's the biggest one yet. Look at that. Looks like we have potentially a little rapid coming up as this creek out of Bonnet Plume Lake meets the Bonnet Plume River proper. And I'm just taking a minute to clean up these two grayling here. This one I caught in the creek coming down, and then when I got here to the confluence of this creek and the Bonnet Plume, I just started catching tanks like it's crazy. They're just in the swift current, in the shallows, in the eddies. Like, they're not just in the eddies. They're like all over the place basically. Probably a gold fleck right there. Say goodbye to what very well could be the best fishing part of the trip. However, it's looking like this is going to be a pretty good fishing trip in general, but man, tough to beat that. Got a little rapid coming up here, more of just a swift. I'm going to try to put in a few more hours on the river here. Well, this river is just screaming along. That's great news. So the high water might make the rapids tougher, but it's looking like it's going to make it faster. It's making me feel a little more confident that I'll be able to make it in time and not have like a complete rushed trip. Well, we are just coming up on our first rapid of the adventure. It's been rainy and cold, unfortunately, for a while, but I'm still just having fun. River's picked up a lot since I got off the creek from Bonnet Plume Lake and into the Bonnet Plume River. Hopefully, maybe, who knows, maybe I'll still be able to bang off my daily distance today, which is about 35 clicks, but I'm gonna run a rapid right now. Should be fun. Looks like maybe a class 1, maybe a class 2. Pretty straightforward, but you always want to be prepared. So woo! Probably not the best line, but fun enough. See some squirrely looking stuff up there. I'm terrified. Here we go. You got this, Jim. You got this. Kind of a blind corner here. I'm gonna keep my stern into shore, but it's rocky on the right. Pretty serious, man. Looks kind of like a class 3. That was awesome. This is way crazier than what I read in the trip report. Anyways, I'm gonna jump out and have a look because right now this is a completely blind corner. In between the rapids, there is no in between the rapids. It's all a rapid. A ripping fast swift at the least. Man, it's not a nice day. It's cold and windy. And that actually makes it more dangerous to run rapids because if you dump, you can get hypothermia. This water is freezing cold. I'm gonna head back to the canoe, bail any remaining water, and head out. All right, here we go. I'm doing it! Look what we have here, a trail. So this way would be to scout the blind corner, and this way would be to portage. And that kind of tells me whatever's around the corner is probably pretty challenging since people portage it. That's a canoe crusher. That's all I could see from upriver, so that's why I was a little nervous, but looks like plenty of room to pass it on the right. Hopefully we're home free and Jim will have survived another one. Into the canyon too. Only a little slot where you can make it over. Yeah, the other thing is the one that I'm skirting right now, no real way to scout it. I'm gonna go take a peek around the corner here. I cut around the side slot to avoid a gnarly looking rapid. and it looks like there's something else that I'm gonna head right into, so I'm gonna go have a look. I walked down to look around the corner again, and she's still going. So I guess I'm gonna try to drag down here, jump into this eddy and go. I don't hear any rushing water ahead. I think we might be out of the thick of it for today anyways, but wow, that looks incredible. Holy smokes, Lord of the Rings right there. As soon as I pulled out the camera, the sun on those mountains went away, but still pretty awesome. But there's a nice gravel bar here, and I've only gone like 13K today. A bit more if you count all the bends, but not even half of what I'm supposed to do. I might stop here. I'm gonna check the time. Might be a decent fishing hole. Looks like a decent enough place to camp and absolutely beautiful. So every shot in the well, I guess first things first, set up the tent and get that over with. Well, just time to get a fire going and find a little baby duckling and just punch it in the face. Just kidding. Wow, I'm already starting to lose it. It's only day 2. Good morning, day 3. Just woke up, I'm still tired. It's raining. Don't know what's on the agenda today, but I think we might have a couple of portages and some more intense rapids. I heard an animal out here at like 3:30 this morning. I heard a noise, an animal walking out here. I think it was a moose, but it seemed to be like not far from my tent. Today is going to be about trying to make some distance, but I think I also probably have at least one portage today. I left my stove out and it's all wet, so let's see how well it lights. Concerning. Don't particularly feel like lighting a fire this morning. Oh no, no pressure. Oh, son of a stove is broken. Unbelievable. This is all damp. One of the things my floatplane pilot told me about the Bonnet Plume is that it's very rarely traveled. So, you know, that means there's nobody on the river, no other group behind me, no other group ahead of me, just me out here in the middle of nowhere, which is kind of cool. Getting smoked out. Nothing like a hot cup of coffee to help you procrastinate on the morning. Two short portages today, and it's not going to be the portage that's challenging. It's hard to just get my boat perfectly loaded so that I can have that solar panel on top of the solar battery underneath it. So I really got to do kind of a Tetris maneuvering job of my bag. So to load and unload the boat is like more time consuming than the portage itself probably, but it is what it is. So all packed up now, but I haven't panned the mouth of this creek or up it a little bit, so I'm just going to take a couple minutes and head up there and see if I can find some gold nuggets. I just can't imagine how cool it will be just swirling everything around and then little nuggets of gold in my pan. It'll be super exciting. So yeah, I'm going to go and do that for a minute and then jump in the canoe and get going. Already starting to get into some more kind of denser forest just from the little bit that we've come down in elevation now. You can see patches of ice still up in the mountains that are still feeding these small little runoff creeks. Well, this is looking kind of sketchy up ahead. I got pushed into a narrow braid and there's a tree down over the river and literally nothing I can do here to eddy out and miss it. So looks like maybe if I just squeeze left I'll be able to get under the tip, but this is the kind of thing that can really cause problems. Yeah, it looks like I can get through without busting my face through branches. Woo! Sketchy, man. Well, things are going pretty good. Just hanging out watching bald eagle here. There's actually two of them, an immature one and a really large mature one. Oh, of course now it starts dumping rain when I'm trying to swap out my maps. Oh, we're probably getting pretty close to the rapids. So my GPS shows me my exact location and it is right here. So right on the next map, so nailed it. Got a ways to go before the rapids yet, but rapids there, two rapids here, contour line crosses the river, and then another double bar rapid there. So things are about to get interesting, ladies and gents. A little rapid right here. Wow, what a view of the mountains. Sweeper coming up here. Looks like there's enough room to get fired. So I have some serious rapids coming up in 6 kilometers, and I really just got to keep my eye on the map so I can judge the character of the river as I get close. Wow, what do we have here? A very nice tributary. It's just screaming to take a couple of casts. Well, no luck here. I just eddied out right at the mouth of a crystal clear tributary rushing right into the Hess River. There's a little tributary marked on my map that looks like it's marked coming in from a swamp, so I was not expecting it to be this fast flowing, and a beautiful eddy here. I love how you can see the two waters, the kind of turbid water of the Bonnet Plume mixed with the crystal clear emerald colored water of the tributary. It's so neat. Now we have a little class 1 coming up right here. Maneuvering here, got some standing waves here. Woo! I would have taken in a lot of water. Maybe I should have hit that for fun. Things are getting interesting. That is a rapid right there. I gotta scout that out. And I just rounded a corner and saw this flushing rapid with some big standing waves. Looks like maybe one hole to avoid and a bunch of big standing waves. So I had to pull over quick. Crazy, and it just keeps going around the corner. Oh, class 3. A big wave there. A little irregular. Well, I'm gonna run it, hit the first big wave, then get right hard and eddy out, and then scout what's downriver. Whew, terrified though. It's the biggest standing wave yet. Probably not the most technical, but I'm gonna try to take her slow. Out here, basically just skipped the whole thing. A little anticlimactic actually. Well, the reason that rapid terrified me wasn't because of the rapid, but it's because of what's downriver. We're in a little small canyon, more standing waves, super pushy, and then a tight blind corner with a huge boulder in the middle. This isn't even a marked rapid on the map, and I guess just because of the high water, it's making what would be, you know, something manageable into something that isn't. Long story short, there's a huge drop there, and if you hit it left, you go into a hole. You can't hit it right, so the tongue is completely blocked by this curling wave. I might be able to kind of cheat it and sneak up through here though. This would be a challenging portage. Look at this. Okay, well, we're going to try to get through this sneak route I found. There's also, looks like, another rapid around the corner too. Anyways, here we go. We'll stay right. This shouldn't be too exciting. Wow, this is terrifying. That's where I don't want to be. Take her slow. Pretty much home free now. miracle run. I just started beast paddling full speed when I had to and then slowing down. Anyways, the portage starts like right over here. Hey, Bear! The trail keeps going, but there's a little side kind of trail, might be an animal trail here, that leads down there, and I'm gonna go for it, damn it. The weather was really beautiful, and then some dark clouds rolled in. It got cold, windy, poured rain, and that's blown through, leaving a spectacular rainbow. And I even see some double rainbow action starting to happen over here. Super awesome. I like to carry the canoe last on places where the trail's hard to follow, because that way I learn the trail a bit better before taking the canoe. Oh, would you look at that? I'm here. Yeah! Woo! That was not easy. Well, now I gotta load all the gear back in the boat, head on down river, and look for a place to camp. Well, raging class 3, over 100 meters long, and there's still rapids around the corner. So yeah, gonna get the boat unloaded and get set up, try to get to bed relatively early. Maybe I'll just do some dehydrated meals. Tori made some delicious dehydrated meals for me, so I might hammer one of those. Also the start of a very faint portage trail. Could be just a game trail coming down. So if I was going to portage this, I might just start from here rather than loading the boat and floating my gear all of 100 feet. Just found the remains of a caribou antler. It's almost like rotted into the ground, but kind of cool. I was just walking, looking for where I was going to put my fire and looking for some wood, and I just saw it there. Bam, bam, cette plaine pour moi. Bone dry, standing deadwood, baby. Well, it's so cold out right now that the water in the river is steaming. That means that the water is warmer than the air, and the water's freezing. Dehydrated meals. Add in some cranberries. Basically all the things Stuffing, mashed potatoes, turkey, and cranberries, all dehydrated and mixed together.
I think it's supposed to be like 2 or 3 meals in that dehydrated pouch, because my pot is full. Thank you, honey, for making this delicious food. Today was day 3, so looking forward to seeing what tomorrow has to hold.
It's a beautiful day.
Using my cold steel Hudson Bay axe, traditional axe head style. It was sold by the Hudson Bay Company in the fur trade era, used by the voyageurs.
Well, today's stacking up like it's going to be an interesting one. I start off with a raging class 3 that I'm going to have to spend some time scouting because it just disappears, thundering around a blind corner. Then at about 3 kilometers from there, I'm going to be hitting 4 marked rapids back to back to back. I think one of them needs to be portaged. Well, I'm going down to scout out this rapid again. I walked down and looked at it yesterday, which promptly made me firm up on the decision to camp here above it. What concerned me is what's around the corner. So I'm going to trek down a ways further and see what I can see. If there's a waterfall there, for example, I wouldn't want to run this one. An animal bone just jammed between the rocks here, I found as I'm scouting. Maybe something succumbed to the river. Maybe that's a bad omen. Anyways, this rapid just keeps going, but it's a class 2. And then it kind of peters out and go into a swift and goes around another corner. Here's the end of the Portage trail, so I think some people do carry, but it would go right up to there. Okay, so here's my line. I'm gonna come down here like this. I don't know, maybe I could hit it here. Maybe that's like a pillow, but there's a lot of boils there. I might just carry my stuff to here and put in here. It's not even in the boat anymore, and it's like not even 50 meters. So yeah, I'm gonna come and put in here and just play it smart. And then go out this way and around and down. I can just feel that gut-wrenching fear in my stomach when I'm planning a line and I'm thinking, yeah, this probably should happen. You know, I want a line where I know pretty much, you know, it's impossible to know every time, but I want to run a line where I know what's going to happen if I hit that line. Well, I'm sorry to say it, but we have another setback here. Damn it. Yeah, basically yesterday when I went to get wood, I cut down a standing dead and I just nicked my dry suit with my saw. So I'm basically putting some of the Aquaseal waterproof goo on the back of the duct tape, sticking the duct tape to it, and then putting another piece down and then gluing all the corners and the edges that are likely to peel up and gluing those down with the super glue. I probably should be leaving it for several hours. I don't have that kind of time, so I'm just gonna have to risk it. Fingers crossed this works and I don't fill up with water, because that water is hypothermic cold, let me tell you. I had hit that, I might have jumped. Well, if you remember, I said that I saw a bone while scouting the rapid stuck between two rocks. Well, I just pulled over on a gravel bar because look what I found. Cool. I think we're approaching the first of the marked rapids. Well, it looks like I was right to pull over and scout this. We got another class 3. I can't really see around the corner either, so maybe I can wade through the water and get a look, but from here it looks pretty runnable, and I think there's another one following it, so this is definitely one of the marked rapids, so fingers crossed I could run it. Well, this actually looks pretty straightforward. There's some big scary stuff in there, but there's plenty of room more or less to avoid it and shift back and forth across the side of the river. I'd have to come in right, get left, get back right, and then hit the middle. But the thing is, it rages around the corner, which means, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to walk way down there and scout that blind corner because the map shows back-to-back rapids. But you see how the river disappears. That's pretty dangerous. You don't want to just head off into this without knowing what's around the corner. Oh, well, unfortunately, it looks like a portage. Bummer. If the water was just a little lower, it would be totally doable, but it's just that one big part where it pours over, and then just the irregularity of the waves and the crazy boiling current, curling waves coming back both and forth irregularly, popping up here and there, and then plus all this past it, and the current doesn't slow, and then there's another class 3 around the corner. So this is class 3, then class 2, then class 3 non-stop. So I can't take a risk at running that when I'm out here alone and swimming all of this. It's just too dangerous. So I'm gonna have to portage it, might as well get it over with. You know, it looks like maybe it's not gonna be today that I make time. Maybe I can just push way into the evening again. I don't know, but I'm getting further and further behind here, unfortunately. A lot easier than portaging. Okay, first trip. Here we go. Well, pretty much almost there. Last 50 meters, no brakes. Not bad for a double package. Wow, just a willow. Whoa, oh, holy nightmare. Oh my god. Oh, I thought I was home free. It's an enormous gully here. There's that point there. I don't know what's around the bend. It's a marked rapid, so it could be something pretty gnarly. And there is a clear water for me to take. Awesome. hopefully that's it. But either way, there's a raging, fastly moving, irregular waved class 3 right in front of me. Here's the part that I couldn't see. Some boils and whirlpools. They can be tricky. Holy f, another intense rapid down there. This day is turning out to be pretty interesting and hair-raising, but anyways, take it a step at a time. I think I'm gonna go back, jump in my canoe, and run this rapid as carefully as possible though. Here we go. Got a pretty freaking intense class 3 coming up here. And then pushy class 1, 2, and then right into the next rapid. Ugly, man, those boils, I'm telling you, boiling current, it'll get you. Doesn't even look like much. Holy this one looks raging too. I gotta go scout this out. The Portage trail I put in at actually just continues and bypasses all of this because we have another big class 3 here. A horrible, horrible boiling class 4 right at the base of this beautiful runnable rapid. How depressing. Well, I came to have a look at it. Doesn't look so bad, but I'd have to run perfectly along that line. If I got into this here or that there, look at the boiling eddy here, that would be all kinds of trouble. Crazy boils here. I'm getting kind of sick of just being scared shitless all the time. I'm gonna pick my way along the shore here, trying to take it slow. Here we go, baby. Before shit gets real. This is the last hurrah of this raging whitewater torrent where the rapids are marked on the Canadian topographic maps. Looks like just a ledge I'll be able to run. And right at the end, to cap it all off, I see a smashed in half canoe. Didn't work out too well for someone. Serious drop here. Holy shit. We got another powerful rapid here, and I barely made it to shore. It's one that needs to be scouted. I've hardly made it anywhere today. just a little debacle having to patch my dry suit this morning and waiting a while for it to dry. Ended up kind of portaging this morning too. Then ran the rapids and got into this crazy canyon. Yeah, basically I've made it nowhere today. I was hoping to like bang off 40 clicks today. I think I've made like 10 clicks. But anyways, this is a sick campsite. I noticed a little fire ring up there. Nice little place to put a tent too. So pretty stoked on this campsite. Enough carrying of those bags for one day, for crying out loud. My dry suit patch lasted today. I even had it submerged for a bit. No water got in, so that's something to celebrate. Oh. Just using my Cold Steel Outdoorsman rig a little pot hanging device. Just can't even tell you how freaking beautiful it is here, man. The air smells incredible, like this campsite. Maybe I should have pushed on today, I don't know. Probably could have made it a ways further, but then I would have just like pulled up to camp, ate a granola bar and like crawled into bed. So hopefully I can make some better time moving forward. But anyways, gotta go cut some wood. We've also got bacon and beef jerky as well in there. Ripped up about a half a pack of ready crisp bacon. I think I made too much, but that is a Rubaroo. Just to give you an idea of how cold it gets at night, thick layer of frost on my gun case and camera case this morning. Absolutely not a cloud in the sky. Oh, I see a little wisp way off in the distance. Jeez, I want a coffee so bad I could shotgun one. This is day 5, so I'm getting towards the halfway point of my trip. Man, it's just flying by. Probably because of the intense fear around every corner. Okay, so boat's all loaded up. I decided to put the solar panel up so I could bring it back out to full charge. Maybe if I have to portage today, I'll tuck it away, but makes me feel warm and snuggly to have a full charge there. And here we go. First task of the day. Run this rapid. Here. I can't really scout it. This looks like a class 2, but there might be some serious boulder dodging happening. Man, more intense rapids today. Holy smokes, but not for a little ways. But yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 in a canyon too. Who knows, that might be a portage up here. Heading into a major braided section. Still ice on the side of the river here in late July. Crazy. This looks like something kind of good here, potentially. Nothing. Yeah, look at that. There's dinner. I just eddied out where there's a big side braid of Cause Creek that enters the Bonnet Plume, and a nice looking eddy, and first cast caught a grayling. Oh no. Oh god. I just got washed away. First cast I got one. There's obviously a ton in that eddy. Man, what a dumb mistake that was. I bet you it was pretty good in there. First cast to catch one like that, and then probably, who knows, there might have been some whitefish or something in there. No, I'm snagged. Son of a bitch. Oh, there's one. Feels better. There we go. Nothing the same size as the ones upriver. That's 2 little keepers. That's pretty sweet. I'm gonna be having a nice little fish dinner tonight, eh? Another tributary. Looks like a honey hole here. Almost missed it too, because it's hard to distinguish it between just another braid entering back into the main channel. But I want to take a couple of casty poos. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about here. Lots of animal prints around here too. Well, at first glance it looked like an awesome fishing hole, but when I got up there, there wasn't really a calm part in the middle. It was all sort of boiling and churning, and the fish kind of like a spot where, in an eddy where there is no current, where they can hang out and wait for food to drift by in the current. A wolf swam across the river and got out at the same spot as me. Look at the size of that. On a warm summer's evening, on a train bound to nowhere, met up with a gambler. We were both too tired to sleep, so we continued staring out the window in the darkness. The boredom overtook us and he began to see. He said, "Son, I lived a life out of reading people's faces, knowing what the cards were by the way they held their eyes. And if you don't mind me saying, I can see you're out of aces. For a taste of your whiskey, I'll give you some advice." Just cruising along, enjoying the scenery, good current, whipping through a braided river. Got a couple of fish in the boat, and epic mountains all around. Yeah, a couple approaching rapids, but I'd say that I'm making decent time today, which is exactly what I needed to do, so that's great.
Another tank grayling. This little honey hole. Look at how beautiful. Wow. Gorgeous fish. Yeah, tank grayling.
I've been making good time. I don't know if I've been making the kind of time I need to be because I have been stopping to fish a lot, but I just can't pass up these spots. So anyways, gorgeous day, and just making my way here downriver. A little swift after a little swift, much less terrifying still than upriver, but we're approaching some what are likely pretty serious rapids that are marked on my topographic map here. So I'm bracing for a bit of a rodeo and or a long portage. Look at this, just wild wilderness mountains all around. Perfect evening, clean, pure, unaltered river in a state of true wilderness. I believe I'm at the marked rapid. It goes around a blind corner, and I was cruising along and I like saw it and panicked and like paddle over the shore as quickly as possible and just sort of beach myself because there's no eddy. I'm gonna go scout it out though. Hopefully it's runnable, because there's not really a good place to camp right around here at all. Looks like there might be a place to camp after all. Littered with wolf prints. Looks like people do camp here though. And there's a portage trail too, leading right up this way. Usually when there's a portage trail, that means that it's a pretty serious rapido. But I'm gonna go scout it out. It looks like it might be a class 4. Not looking good. So if you went into this hole here, you could get really hurt. And this here is a hole. If you went into that, you just get trapped in swamp and you wouldn't be able to swim out. It's a keeper. See how that aerated water is boiling back on itself? There's this enormous hole. The only way down the whole thing is here, except bam, there's a huge rock here, so there's no route down. The only route, you'd have to crash into this boulder. My boat's not maneuverable enough to spin left and catch this little part, and even so, it's really rocky. Looks like I'm starting the day out with a big portage tomorrow. That's completely unrunnable. The river pinches through a gap that's 4 meters thick, and there's a small waterfall, and it's just like a raging, frothing hole that, you know, would only be runnable in a large inflatable raft. So yeah, so that's like that's a class 5, not something that I can run. Kind of a bummer, but it is what it is. So means I'm probably going to stay put today, and I guess finish figuring out what I'm going to do tomorrow. I might have to keep portaging after this if it doesn't get any better. But made some good time today, but this is going to slow things down again. 8:45. I did, geez, over 40K today. You know, I probably could have stopped less and paddled harder. Either way, it would have probably been tough to do the 40 and this portage. Yeah, pretty good day all in all. So anyways, I'm gonna throw these boots on and get a fire going. Oh, wait a minute, I'm gonna get my tent set up first. Shelter, fire, water, food. Shelter comes before fire, so. Chicken curry. Oh yeah, best fish yet. Apple cinnamon today. We're almost out of peaches and cream. Oh man, it's like a bad dream, but fortunately, just to give me some apple cinnamon. It's still pretty good in my tummy. Yum yum. About to eat some breakfast. Then I'm gonna get just a little bit reckless. Starting the day off with portage, not as long as the other ones, probably about 450 meters or so, but it's super rugged. Like I have to go over loose boulders and then tricky maneuvering more or less to scale, kind of like to bypass some cliffs, and a slip and fall could be severely injury-some. But once I get past this, I have another set of rapids right after it. These are marked on the Canadian 1 to 50 topographic map. There's another set and then another set. So I might have to portage this, load the boat, paddle a bit, eddy out, unload, portage, load the boat, paddle a bit, and I'm talking about like a couple hundred meters in between. Definitely not looking forward to doing this portage, but I am looking forward to getting it over with. I trapped a little mouse in my canoe when I flipped it over. A mouse bites. Oh, look. Man, that thing bites hard. Oh man, it's putting up a fight, this little feisty little guy. I got some respect for this little dude. Might as well have been a panther that bit me. I feel like he chewed through my airbag in my canoe because I see it deflated. So this mouse might have really me, beat me up and trashed my gear. You probably thought like, wow, what a perfect little hideaway from the rain. Anyways, I guess I just grabbed some stuff from my canoe and I'm gonna start portaging my gear. Rain's pretty steady now, but not too hard. So hopefully shouldn't raise the river too much. This is gonna be a tough one. Well, I'm just plodding along, and not far after the beginning, I noticed this old trail that goes right up the hill. Unfortunately, I'm guessing that this is the trail to bypass both sets of rapids in the entire canyon, which tells me that whatever's downriver from here, I was thinking maybe I could run it, might be a waste of my time, and I'd just be able to paddle 100 meters, unload, and portage again, where I'd be better off to just portage the whole thing in one shot. It'd be faster, but I think I'm gonna risk it and just I did see a trail the way I went to, which also means that potentially the lower rapid is runnable. So I'm just gonna go with what I scouted. It could mean I could put myself in potentially a more dangerous situation, because it might mean that there's not really a good place to take out before the next rapid, or it might just be a time suck because it means I have to unload my boat and all that again. So I'm just gonna go with the plan though. And of course now I don't have a trail here. I got my drone in this bag, so I don't want it to fall off. So far not so good. Holy this goes up and around too. Bullshit. I don't need to portage the entire thing. I'm just gonna cut back down to the river. So I'm just gonna, I guess, portage along the rocks here. These drift pile lines are from when the river's in flood. Man down! Oh, I just stepped on a rock coming through some, basically a drift pile and some jagged boulders and some slick rock, and thought my boots would have grip, but they just did not. Starting to think that maybe the top of the canyon route was better. A little easier going through here. And there it is, the end. Bit of a clamber to get there though. Literally. Avoid the smooth areas of the rock. People wouldn't have come this way regardless, just because you go back long enough, all those sharp, jagged rocks being carried under heavy packs will just trash your moccasins. That's why they would have taken the soft trail. Wolf came this way too. Well, hallelujah, here we are. I am definitely going to have to, after I get my stuff here, climb up the hill and scout around the corner. Might even do that now, because if I put in here and I round that corner and there's another class 5, I'll be in big trouble, and it's a very likely thing considering the next rapid isn't marked any differently than this one. Well, the good news is that from where I left my bags on my first load, I'm just walking along this trail to scout the blind corner. If it's a unrunnable rapid, I want to make sure that there's a safe back eddy with a place where I can get out and portage around it. I want to scout it and figure out how to run it, or at least, you know, get an idea with what I'll be faced for on whether I should continue portaging or not. Oh, looks like some big stuff down there. Oh, maybe I could run it, I don't know. Looks crazy though. Might be able to sneak down it on the left or something. Can't see it on the GoPro, but right in there, there's some really crazy irregular waves and a huge hole and a boulder and a big boiling eddy coming back this way. Likely would dump if I went through there, because you'd have to come and turn. It would be pretty intense. I've done stuff like that before. There's a chance I could run this, but with my heavily loaded boat in such a remote area, and with the class 3 afterwards and pinning boulders downriver, this is not the place to be doing that kind of stuff. Terrible news, guys. I have to portage the whole canyon. This is gonna take me all freaking day. This is just crazy down here. The water's too high. There's just a line of just crazy curling waves, crazy boiling current on the left, huge boulder on the right, and just no route down without hitting some stuff that's very likely gonna dump me. Yeah, really news, guys. This is just gonna quadruple the length of my portage here. So yeah, gotta finish going all the way around there, over that, and probably down to that eddy over there. Yeah, like all this is manageable, but I can't run this, and then how would I get up the canyon? How would I get over to the side before that rapid? I know I'm doing the right thing. I got little kids at home, my little 11-month-old Hudson and my special little 4-year-old Wesley. I don't want to do anything that could endanger my life because those two little guys need me, and just from my own perspective, I just want to make sure that I see them again and again. There's my gear down there. So first order of business is coming up this super steep hill. Lots of fun. Lots of fun. Well, at least I'll lose a few lbs on this trip. That's for sure. Well, just on the walk back here, see, these are the things you miss when you have a 100-pound load over your shoulders. So that's why I enjoy the walk back. Back at camp, I feel like I haven't been here for years. All right, ready for the next load. Well, here's why I say, hey bear, when I'm coming down the trail. Because bears use the trail too. So it's good to say, hey bear, once in a while, when you're all alone out here in the grizzly bear wilderness. The river's already started to come up in volume here. I think I should be all right though, but pops into my mind, man, don't leave your stuff close to the shore. Anyways, one more trip with the canoe. Hopefully this rain dies off before I jump back onto the river though. This is nuts. Oh my goodness, man, this is rain. Found another bypass route that like cuts off the corner because this canyon's on a bit of a half moon. It's a really old trail and it's really hard to follow in some places. I think I'm gonna give it a go. Hopefully I don't get turned around coming up a big hill. Easily a mile this portage. Easily a mile long this portage, probably more. Yeah! Well, it was not something I expected to have to do, is portage that entire canyon. But I did it, and it feels great to get it over with. Look at all this gear I got over here now. Well, it looks like the clouds are lifting, at least for now, so that torrential downpour has come to an end. I'm about to run what is likely the craziest rapid of the adventure. The only thing is there's no pinning boulders and no downriver rapid, so I feel a lot more confident that if I did dump and the sketchy part's only at the very end, that it wouldn't be the end of the world. It's almost impossible to scout and endless to portage too. So as much as I'm happy to be through it, I'm also sad to likely never lay eyes on this part of the world again. So I'll always remember this canyon and the horrible portage, but yet the incredible beauty of it. Well, I got the boat loaded up and figured it'd just be easier to walk down on the side I was on to check out the next rapid. And at first look at it, I got concerned and like, oh my god, because the portage trail continues, but it looks like it's going to be a runnable class 3. This is the last mark rapid, and then I'm home free for a while. So just one death-defying, harrowing run, and I'm through this. Look at the perspective here. That's my canoe right there. You can even see it. Well, I decided I'm just gonna go for it. If I dump, I dump. Okay. Yeah, back on the water. here? Well, it's a tight corner, so I'm gonna try to go on the outside here. It's just huge standing waves and curling waves blasting straight into a rock wall. So I'm gonna try to take it hard on the outside and eddy out and avoid all that or just back very hard right. What do we have here? A boiling eddy. What time is it? Probably like 4 in the afternoon. Pretty much took me all day. Well, I'm still gonna pull over and rig up my fly fishing rod because it, you know? The Bonnet Plume is a little kind of emeraldish color, sort of like an emerald gray, as you can see behind me. So I'm gonna try to match it, and I'm gonna kind of go with something bigger because the fish, when they start to bite, they're pretty freaking aggressive, and they're just like hammering my spinners and stuff like that. So I feel like something that I can actually play more in the water as opposed to just let it drift might work pretty well. But like at the same time, a lot of the fish that I've cleaned, their stomachs have been full of insects, but also just like plant matter and just like anything. So they are just hitting stuff that's drifting past in the current, that's, you know, pouring out of those side creeks. Baby. Yeah! First fish on the fly. That's dinner right there. There's one. I'll just keep this guy. I got him through the eye. Okay, well, there we go. Got dinner and just picking my way down river. Don't know how much time I'm really gonna have to stop again, but that was another braid of the same creek where I first tried. That's the second braid. Oh my God, it's so beautiful here. Wow, there's all snow on the ground all through here. Well, I think I'm going to try to find a place to camp here. Clearly it's not the warmest. Maybe on the ground right beside the creek. But we'll have to make this work. Weather's turning on me and it's after 9. Wow! Just after I got to camp, I just started getting hammered with rain and hail. But like, crazy looking storm that way. Looks fine pretty much that way. And over here we have a rainbow.
here is our campsite. It's freaking beautiful. Right at the mouth of this creek that comes out of a canyon in the mountains. And when I showed up, all kinds of horrific weather hammered me. Blasting hail. There was actually some thunder and lightning, which is rare for the Yukon. And I was like, oh my God, here we go. It's a survival situation. And then all of a sudden it cleared up and it was like this. 2 seconds later, bizarre, there's a beautiful rainbow. So I'm expecting it to go to shit again. Maybe not that bad, but it seems that there's some more weather blowing in. And anyways, it's already late. It's probably like 9:30 right now. So I'm gonna just cook up those fish and get to bed as quickly as possible because I want to be up at 6 tomorrow. So I have time to do all the things I want to do here and finish on time. So yeah, hopefully the rain holds off. I'm gonna get a fire going, and if it starts to rain, I'll whip my rain pants on and maybe whip a tarp up. But really, it's super late. I just want to eat something quick and go to bed. So that's the plan. See some red sky, red clouds, so maybe that means it's gonna be a beautiful day tomorrow, fingers crossed. Got my fish cleaned up, boiled some water for some tea, and I'm just gonna let this fire burn down a bit before I start cooking my fish and go to bed. I'm just gonna have a little snack. Bring a couple of these cans of smoked mussels, and I get it all to myself.
That's gotta be gold.
Look at this cool cabin.